Hi, my name is Jason Johnson, and I went to the Oak Gateway Area Plan Open House at Calhoun Middle School, where they discussed the infrastructure changes and improvements for the Oak Gateway area. I live in this area. My house is right in this area, and I also work on Oak Hickory Street, technically Fry Street, as a bartender. And this is all pertinent to me. I drive through this area on every daily basis, so I'll be focusing on this yellow region for my project. So as far as my prior expectations go, I assume that the meeting would be someone standing at a podium, giving a presentation with a PowerPoint behind them or something, maybe a series of a couple different people speaking, but I expected there to be rows and rows of chairs of just lots of people just listening and maybe not being so active in participation with the event. I was pleasantly surprised as far as when I actually showed up. I came into Calhoun Middle School, we walked into the cafeteria, we have a huge, large open space, and around the edges of the building, they had, as this PDF shows, they showed the map and then multiple different bullet points of things that they wanted to change, organized all the way around the room. And then it was just an open house, so people walked around to all these parts, read what they thought pertained to them, and the committee stationed people at every one of the posts to try to take commentary and suggestions from the people who were at the open house. So I thought it was very interesting that the whole purpose was to get the opinions of the people that live around us, and they encouraged us to use Sharpies, to write on the board, to make suggestions, open arguments with the people, and overall I thought that was a really cool way of presenting a new plan for changing a city that we all live in. So after the meeting started, I started walking around the room and basically getting an understanding of what was going on, because coming into it I basically had no idea what this was going to be. I realized that as soon as I saw these maps that this was, like I said, very pertinent to what, my daily life. And as I was staring at this map, a man came up to me named Randy Hunt. He was an older fellow, and I could tell that he was trying to push a particular motive of his. He's a member of the committee, and he wanted to discuss with me the placement of a new SRO, which was proposed to be placed in this general area. And what an SRO is a single room occupancy. And if you know anything about Youth Center, which is the apartment complex that is across the street from campus and Fry Street in this general area, that is a huge apartment for student living. And we're a college town, student living is good, brings more students closer to the area I work in, bring in more foot traffic. And so in my eyes, I think another student living area would only help me. But this man was highly adamant on not having this get placed there, and was talking to everyone he could to try to write in on these documents the fact that they did not want these SROs because they wanted to keep this region to be a historic region. There's already multiple places in this area that are considered historic, and they were pushing to expand on those historic regions. But another counterpoint to this, in my eyes, is we have the campus who's continuously trying to grow and become better and modernized. And over here at University, it's not on the map, but University Street, all here is being very, very modernized. They've got movie theaters, lots of restaurants, the road systems are all getting really good. So you have all of this that's modernized, all of this that's modernized, and then you have everything in the middle that they're trying to salvage as just being a historic area. But in reality, we should be trying to bring more people in here. So to push one of their points, which was to increase economic stability of restaurants and businesses in the Scripture Street area and Oak and Hickory Street area. And so I opened up an argument with this man, or discussion. We were very calm about it. Just discussing in general, our thoughts on this, and just had to, in the end, agree to disagree as far as wanting the SROs there.
Let's go.
After my discussion with Randy concluded, I started to walk around the room. After I had such a good conversation with him, I wanted to start talking to some more of the committee members. So I continued around the circle, and I met a man that goes by Christopher Walker. And this man was much younger. In fact, he works with UNT, and he usually has that. His specialty is the UNT integration into the society around him. And when I asked him about his opinions on SROs, he immediately brought up, we have one committee member who's very against it, but I, on the other hand, am not. So it was interesting to see how this committee came together to put this together, but they still all had different ideas and mindsets and opinions on the matter, and that's why a committee can be effective, because it brings multiple people's mindsets together to try to create the best possible thing.
Let's do it.
Overall, my impression of this entire event was good. I think that the public house, way of setting this up, where everyone could come in and discuss with the committee members, made me feel like my voice was being heard, and that I, as easily as walking in the door and having conversations with people, I was able to potentially make an effect on my community. And seeing how easy it was makes me want to do it again. I learned a lot while I was there. I could talk about way more than I've talked about now. All of the parking plans they have, and sidewalk plans, and all of their plans for increasing Scripture Street's economy, and all the facets that go along with that. But all in all, I felt that my voice was heard, and I would do it again, and I'm looking forward to the next opportunity.